Yo.
Yo and yo. I'm going double duty this week. It looks like Sam. I got the Hutch jersey, wearing his alma mater's bucket hat.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking good. Looking good. Both Michigan Dub and our Detroit Lions,
Mm-hmm.
which is important for this channel.
Shout out
Got the
to
Dubs.
the Tigers too. You know what? Why don't we throw that one out there? Shout out to the Tigers.
Yeah, oh yeah. Shout out,
We
yeah.
go
Shout out to the Tigers, man. Shout out to the Tigers getting the dub too.
hot.
It was a good weekend in Detroit, in the Michigan area.
Not for Sparty fans, but it's okay. But with that,
Yes, sir.
ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Week 4 of the Sammy and Slim Show.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm keeping this one going for a minute. Screw it. I was happy as heck on Sunday.
Yes, yes. Let me tell you, man.
Bounce back, recovery, grit, win, as Dan Campbell likes to say, as he has coined the phrase. Couldn't ask for anything better coming off of that loss to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. You know, come up with the loss. I was shook and you know what? I'm not the type of guy to be shook about a season early on because, it's early in the season and we get rookie mistakes and a lot of things going on. But I low key was a little scared of our future after the Tampa Bay game
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know if we were the same team as last year. But the boys came through.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, a gritty win, great dub, contained Kyler. Overall, man, we just played an overall good brand of football towards the end of the game. I would say the first couple quarters were a little shaky, but at the end of the day, we got the.
I
So
was,
I'm happy about that.
I'm looking at the stats right now. If you want to talk about containing Kyler Murray, yeah, he threw for 207 yards, which is respectful. Respectful
Very respectable.
for 34. Um, one TD, one interception. But we talked last week about how you know, Baker Mayfield wasn't mobile, or was mobile. You know, Kyler Murray's not going to be any better. He only he had 5 carries and only had 45 yards rushing. So I think we did our job, the
For
defense.
sure.
Um, but no, I agree. It was a gritty win. Had some injuries though through it. Don't know if it was with the heat or whatever. Yeah, it was in the dome. The window was
Yeah.
shut, sealed. But we had some scary injuries too. And that's not, let's not forget that. That's not going to be a secret. Makes you kind of nervous a little bit, but I think we'll still be solid, even with those injuries.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, just looking toward the injury list as of right now. Just two big names stand out. Obviously, we had Frank Ragnow, which he went down with a significant injury with his pec,
mm-hmm.
and they're saying he's week by week right now. So um, honestly, I'm really not that worried about Frank because even last year he got hurt before and he still found a way to get back on the field in that next week with I think it was a knee injury or leg injury or something like that. But he's super resilient. He wants to play football. He's a football guy, so he wants to go on the field and play.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have an issue with Frank right now being hurt. I feel like it's best for him to be, rested up, later on in the season. Will be our best bet for Frank. But the biggest loss, I feel like, which wasn't really the biggest loss, and me and you texted about it, about Davenport,
Mm.
saying he's having a season-ending injury potentially, which is I'm not sure if it was confirmed or not.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was confirmed yet, but they're pretty much saying that his season is over after the
Yep.
injury he had. So, you know, And just like you said, we were texting about it earlier. Like we're not surprised about this. We're not surprised. He was hurt all last year. He was hurt. He's been hurt through majority of his career. So it just hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It just hurts that we spend so much money on a guy like him, and the fourth game, going to the fourth game of the season, we don't have him. So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
but we still made improvements, and if I want to look on the bright side of things, yeah, it's a bummer. But if I want to look on the bright side of things, did we have him last year? No, but did we still make that kind of a run? Yeah, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, no question.
I think we still improved immensely across the board defensively, and um, albeit we've got to still shore up and clean up some mistakes, which we'll get into here tonight. But I think Brad Holmes did enough across the board, brought enough in to bolster that defense to where there's more depth. And I think we'll be able to, if we can play like that defensively, shut Kyler Murray down, a mobile quarterback, we can limit big throws. We can limit their high profile, backs, receivers. I'm looking at their stats too. And if I want to look at, as far as rushing and receiving goes, James Conner really only had 17 yards on the day.
Right.
Marvin Harrison Jr. did get a touchdown. Him and Michael Wilson did go for 64 yards, but that's still limiting. Our defense still limited, their top profile stars like they were supposed to. They scored on short yardage gains, stuff like that. They really, they scored, they made it close. They really didn't do anything super crazy that, kind of like stands out like they did against, the Rams last week and stuff like that. So I think we'll be fine going into the rest of this season. Any game's tough, but I do think that this next week is going to be a good test. Um,
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
and I do think the bye week couldn't come at a better time too.
Yes, I feel
If,
like the bye came perfectly, especially through our all the injury bugs we
Mhm.
have already. So this bye week early is great. Not in week 8, 9 now coming up soon after Monday night. But yeah. So here's what they wanted to throw out there to you, Slim, because I feel like
Eh,
we always focus on the defensive end of the ball. We always focus on like, okay, well, our corners, Terrion, our guys getting injured on defensive end, plus guys, so trying to see how our defense looked from last year, how much of a change it's made. How do we talk about the offense, right? And I have a question for you,
okay.
just in general, because I was thinking about this earlier. Um, are the Lions starting to be predictable now? Like, is our offense getting too predictable
Mm,
over certain amounts of time? Because it feels like, right, the only two standout plays I remember on offense for the last game was one, the hook and ladder
mm.
from Amron caught, flipped it to Gibbs, scored a touchdown, which is
And Gibbs is a ballsy runner.
beautifully, beautifully executed, beautiful play. The same play happened 2 years ago against Green Bay in Lambeau Field when it was like third and like 12 or 13, and we threw it to I think it was Amron or possibly DJ. No, I don't remember who caught it, but someone caught it, passed it to Swift, and then Swift almost got the first down,
Mm-hmm.
and we got field position
Oh,
to
yeah.
seal the game against the Packers. So we ran that same play, and it's like, you know, do we have anything else in the arsenal? Because it seems like the only time we can get big plays is when we do trick plays, and not necessarily trick plays, but extraordinary plays we have to
Mm,
do to get the big yards. We can't get it off of just a simple deep post, or we can't do, we have to do something extravagant to get the deep plays to get in the end
mm.
zone. But is that true? You think we're being too predictable right now as our offense?
I mean, Tuna can say it, see it. The last couple of weeks, it's been a lot of ground and pound, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, because I mean, if it works, it works, and if you can't stop it, well, that sucks to be you. So, um, and kudos to our run game and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of, because we're not really getting, but we are, and I mean, we won the game. But
Yeah, yes,
I look
that's what matters.
at stats. I mean, yeah, you can say that because really we're predictable on our run game. That's how we're getting defended. And well, actually, no, backtrack. It's that's actually honestly a tough question. I don't know how to go about that, but I do feel like we are a bit predictable. Um, and we try to hit we try to throw too much sometimes, and I mean, look at our receiving yards too. Really, I mean, yeah, Amon-Ra stood out 75 yards on the day, one touchdown and stuff, but really that drops off after that. I mean, he got hurt, but Sam Laporta was the next highest, guy with 36 yards. That's kind of
Right,
predictable. But again, like, we were able to switch it up to the running game and we're able to get, decent yards to compensate. But even then, you know, yeah, that I don't know how to really. There's no real clear way to go about this. To
right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too, because I remember last year, like we used to spread the rock, like for
Mhm.
those last, I think, well, not even last game. Honestly, the whole season, we used to spread the rocks.
Mhm.
Laporta, Jamo, Amron, Reynolds. Like we had guys that we could spread the ball to.
Yeah.
Jameer. We spread the ball out everywhere, and now it just seeming like it's just so prime focused on, okay, the only time we're ever going to throw a deep ball is to JMO. The only time we're ever going to do a slant or a 5 out is to Amron. Here goes David Montgomery running the ball. Here goes Jameer coming against around the corner running the ball. I just feel like these last couple weeks we've been so predictable where defenses could just pick us up and easily stop us. I feel like hence why our score has been so low. Like the last game we scored 20 points. We should have scored I think 28,
Mhm.
almost 30 points that game. The
Agreed.
game before that we scored 20 points. The game before that we scored 26 points. So it's not the same lines we've seen throughout that playoff run, throughout,
Mhm.
the last season, because it's like we're just getting more and more predictable. And I don't know if that's Ben Johnson's fault. I'm not sure if Jared Goff is not, making the right reads he needs to make, but it just seems like we're just doing the same things over and over again, and teams just have our number defensively.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I can.
that's what I feel right now.
Yeah, I can see that, and just maybe just teams after last season figured a way to kind of stop us or calm us down a bit. But that's not saying it's still early in the season.
Right.
They could be figured out, and I'd rather iron the kinks out now, like I was saying last week, as opposed to halfway through or later in the season, stuff like that. And again, that bye week couldn't come at a perfect time too. To kind of go along or piggyback off of that too. I mean, the 2-1 record is still pretty nice though. I don't care what
Yeah.
way you look at it. We're still above 500. Uh,
Mm,
I still feel pretty good about it, but yeah, to an extent, I can see us being predictable. It's just teams know how to defend us after last year, and even
sure.
it might not just be that, but maybe just these teams are just making really good halftime adjustments. Too,
That too.
another part of
That
it though.
too.
So maybe teams are just making that good at halftime adjustments, but maybe we are too, and that's why we're able to beat Arizona. Again, it's
Mm,
every game is tough. You can't really we could say anything and everything that we want, but really it's just every game is different week to week. Um
every game is different. Every game is different.
mhm. But
Yes. So going into week 4 right now. So, obviously we have the Seahawks Monday night. Um, we've had a lot of bad nights seeing the Seahawks versus the Lions play. So we've seen last couple of years we have not been able to beat the Seahawks.
mhm.
So going into week 4, how important is it for us to win this game? Like how important is this game to go into the bye week?
Important. I think every excuse me. I think every game is important. It doesn't matter. what game it is really. Um, but like you had said, my gosh, so
You get over there?
yeah, I'm good. This weather is nuts.
Yeah, 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 bro. It's killing me too. I ain't gonna lie to you. Allergies be killing me.
But no, every game is important, really. So it's not just one is more important over the other. But yeah, it's you're not wrong. Seattle's had our number the last couple of years. And so I think it is very important to come off of this win. Come on a high, going back to Ford Field, prime time, Monday night. And if I've heard correctly, the Black Unis are being debuted Monday night. So the Ford Field is about to be like what I like to say, litty titty,
Oh yeah,
hype as heck.
slapping, lapping.
Oh my gosh,
It's gonna go crazy over there, bro. It's
I
gonna go
I
nuts. It's gonna
really
be
think
nuts.
the Lions feed off of that more than we think. Um, I think they come out with a win. It's going to be tough, and first year head coach, Mike McDonald, which hey, represent,
Hmm.
represent. I mean, where did he come from last year? Let's remind everybody where Seattle's coach came from last year. While I'm thinking about it,
Let's go blue.
oh yeah, national champions.
You know what time it is?
Um, but no, he's got them playing tough, 3-0, first year coach. He knows his stuff.
Sure.
But no, I feel like we gotta come if we're to win this. If they're to win this game, they gotta come hot to trot. And um, you say we gotta we've been predictable, which to an extent I can see that, but I think I think that we gotta hit the ground running hard. Come out
Definitely.
hot to trot, and the way to do that,
No
to
question.
be quite
And I
honest
feel the
with
same
you,
way. Like,
is
for like the main thing for us to win Monday
with the
night is
running
just
game,
coming out hot and coming out
pound the
strong,
rock
coming out
up the middle
resilient, like
against the
we have in many, many games we played last year. We got to come out with just straight, punch them in the mouth early.
Mhm.
Don't let up and don't give Geno and them a chance because,
No,
yeah,
I think
it's time for that.
I think our defense. So again, we talk about it all the time, like you said, but our defense has improved, and I
For
think
sure.
because I'm looking at their stats from last week, this past week. They
Mhm.
won. Seattle won 24-3,
Right. Yep.
but really the only. Ugh, I mean, Zach Charbonnet, 91 yards, 18 carries. DK Metcalf, he had 4 catches,
Tough.
but for 104 yards. I think we've got to shore both sides of the ball. Not with now that I'm looking at these stats, we gotta
Hmm.
we gotta be able to defend the run, get pressure. I think compared to the last time we played Seattle, we've got a better defensive line, even with a hurt Marcus, Davenport. We've got.
Right.
While I'm thinking about it, have we heard anything on if Aleem McNeil's going to be able to play?
I haven't heard anything personally. I've been checking the sources. Haven't heard anything about Aleem. One person that's been on my mind heavy is James Houston, and
Mm,
I don't know what's going on with his situation. I just haven't heard anything from him. I just thought that, well, I thought last year he was gonna pop out, but he got hurt obviously beginning of the year, and then he came back kind of halfway. But I thought this year he was really gonna come out full force on the other end, but he hasn't been getting in the game. He hasn't been able to play. He's only been playing special teams. So I wonder if it's something else that's going on with him, or if it's like I don't know. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know what's going on with that whole situation with him, but I feel like we need to have him eventually getting some reps, getting some snaps on the
Hmm.
defensive end.
No, I agree too. I've been kind of wondering where, what's his story been, because I heard rumors at the beginning of the season. Oh, he's being limited and he's going to get traded. He wants to get traded, stuff like that. But I think, yeah, I would like to see him get some defensive snaps, not just special team stuff. But I'd like to see him get some defensive snaps this week.
For
You
sure.
know,
Definitely.
um, but yeah, we got to be able to defend and contain, contain the run, defend the pass. So while we're thinking about it, looking at next week, um, who's that one guy that we got to look at and say we've got to stop this guy? We had said this past week it was Kyler Murray and
Hmm.
James Conner, and
Right.
they both didn't do that much at all, especially
Right.
Conner. So who's that one guy we've really got to focus heavy on um, going into next week against Seattle?
No, as much as I want to say Geno Smith, as much as I want to say Geno, I'm going to not say Geno. I'm not even going to say DK Metcalf. I
Ooh.
think I think the number one person or thing that we have to stop, well not stop, but like focus on is not beating ourselves.
Mm.
That's the main thing we need to do to win this game. I think just watching off the Arizona game,
Mm-hmm.
how we contain Kyler and Geno Smith not faster than Kyler, Geno Smith's not as elusive as Kyler, and how we contain Kyler Murray to that game on his feet, I feel like it shows true testament
Mm.
of what we can become
Mm-hmm.
in the future for any quarterback who can be mobile. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think if we as a team, I'm not even focused on Geno, I'm not focused on I'm not even focused on if we can as a team just focus on the small things, make sure we detailed oriented on the offensive side, defensive side, limit mistakes, make sure we do our job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we will for sure win this game with flying colors in my eyes.
So
So
I
I feel like us.
if and I would agree too. We gotta focus on not bidding ourselves,
Yes.
especially like we've already alluded to. Having with Seattle having our number. But if you had to pick one guy, for had to
You
pick
gonna make me do it.
the one,
You gonna make me do it.
I am gonna make you do it. Now
I
we
like
have to look at it too. I don't know if Kenny Walker's supposed to be back and playing or not, but he didn't get any
yeah.
snaps. I know he's hurt. I don't know when he's supposed to be back, but
Hmm.
um, if you had to pick that one guy,
But if you're telling me to pick that one guy, I'm gonna have to go with Geno Smith. I feel like Geno Smith on his feet's dangerous. He's a good quarterback. He's smart. He can run. He can throw. He has weapons. So, if anything, our main focus should be Geno Smith. If you want to go specific player, because you pushed me to that, so I will say Geno. Geno got to be the guy we got to
mm-hmm.
stop. That's my opinion. How about you, Slim? Who do you think we got to stop for in order for us to be successful? Who
Fred,
we got to stop?
as much as I'd want to say DK Metcalf,
Yeah,
I would agree it's Geno because Geno's smart enough. While he rushed for -2 yards, let's put that out there. He's not as mobile as Kyler, but if you give him any open space, as we've seen the last couple of years, he can put you in the in the burner and torch you.
sure.
But he is still very smart,
Yes.
and so and it looks and it I shouldn't say it looks, it shows on the stat sheet. Being
Right.
able to spread the ball, he's able to spread the field and not just focus on one specific area of the game. He's focusing on multiple areas. So I think if we can contain Geno, um, and put a lot of pressure on him, I think we come out with a win. So I would have to agree with you on that one.
Good. Good. Well, as long as we know now, and we're all both on the same page that Geno's the biggest X factor for us,
Mm-hmm.
then we need to handle that. So, with that being said, final score prediction. What do you think this game's going to come out to? Who's going to win Monday night? A who you thinking, Slim? Who you thinking? I already have it in my mind who I got. So I want to hear your first take. What you think? Who are first? Who gonna get this done Monday night?
I think the Lions win.
I love that answer.
I think the Lions win. As far as the score, it's going to be. I think this year it's not going to be lopsided because if I remember correctly, within the last couple years, Seattle has kind of put a whooping on us by at least two or three scores. I think this year is going to be more defensive battle or of a defensive battle. It's going to be low scoring. Um, Detroit comes out on top. I think it's going to be another game by, up by 7. I can see maybe two scores. But realistically, I'm going to say, we win by the Lions win by 7. I can see, ooh, 27-20. First numbers that popped into my head,
Okay,
and I'm going to go with it.
I like it. I like it. No, that's actually a good take. I like that. I like that. I like that. So same thing here. I just think that we're gonna win. For one, yes, the Lions win. So let me make that clear because people were saying, "Oh, you're going against the Lions. How could you ever?" No,
Hmm.
listen. I'm realistic with certain things. I'm realistic with certain games. Okay, I know for a fact when we play the Buccaneers, and a couple people that I know talking about some how can you go against the Lion. No, I'm being realistic. And what Baker did is what Baker did. But coming to this game, that's the past. Coming to this game against the Seahawks, I got the Lions winning 27-24. I feel like it'll come down to a one-score game. And just like you said, it will for sure be a defensive battle. I got that for sure. A defensive battle back and forth. But I feel like we're to come on top with the last drive.
Hmm.
Probably a field goal, probably tied late game, 24-24. We get the ball, last possession, come down, kick a field goal, game winner. So 27-24 is my last final prediction for this upcoming game. I feel like we limit Geno to a lot of yards, but I feel like with a young Terrion and Terrion Arnold, and he's been somewhat banged up. I'm not sure if he's going one on one against DK or not, but if he is, I'm praying for you, brother, because DK is a big man. He's a big man, strong man, got hands, can move,
Uh,
and I just,
I kind of would like to see Carlton Davis or Curry Joseph on DK.
I'm the same way. I feel the same way, but I just feel like we're probably not going to play man a lot. We're probably going to do a lot of zone flats, trying to take away the big plays.
Mhm.
So,
I agree.
in my opinion,
I can agree. Um,
yeah,
Real quick, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a short one this week. We've got big boy jobs that we got to do. Last question. Okay, who is your X factor? And then I'll have you ask me the same question. But who is we are to come out on top and beat the Seattle finally? Who is that X factor that's going to put us over that edge?
man, and I don't even like to bring in running backs in this situation, man.
Hmm.
But I feel like David Montgomery has to just show up again, man. I feel like every game he's shown up, we have got a dub. The two games he showed up, the first game on the last drive in overtime, second game, well, scratch that. Actually, no, no, no. Keep that, keep that, keep
Yeah.
that. Run back, running back, running back. Because at first I was gonna say offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of go hand in hand. But
Yep.
if David Montgomery runs the way he's been running and continues to run like he hates the ground, I feel like we will easily flourish with a dub because the two games he went off are the two games where he that we actually won the game. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think David Montgomery on his feet will also open up Jared Goff's passing game too. So
I agree, and
that's a
that's
good one.
uh, I kind of got two X factors. Kind of
Okay.
what you just said, and it's going to be Jared Goff being able to spread the wealth, spread the
Yes,
field.
sir.
You
Yep.
and get the receivers more involved. So like, Amon Ross, Sam Laporta, even Brock Wright, you could throw him in there. Jameson
Hmm.
Williams has to be more effective. He only had one catch for 9 yards, so he's got to get more targets this week.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's going to come from the run game. So I would agree, though, going into this, my X factor this week is David Montgomery. I would say Jameer Gibbs too. So just the running game in general, because
Run that.
had
Okay, respect that.
Jameer Gibbs had 83 yards on 16 carries, which is respectful. David Montgomery 23 carries for 105 yards. One touch.
Yes.
We got and like we had said, we got to pound the rock right away. I think we got to come out hot the trot this week, and shove it down, their defensive line's throats, um, and do exactly what David Montgomery did this past week. Because again, I agree. First week he went off. Look what happened. He went off this week. Look what happened. This is basically this soundbite I recorded and I did this special. I try to think of find bully ball and I couldn't find it. But this is what Arizona called David Montgomery this past week on Sunday afternoon in Phoenix, Arizona. If we are to win, this is what David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs have to be.
Let's get it.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
Big Papa.
I had to stop it right there for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah, for reasons. Yeah, yeah. But yes, big horses down the stretch. Big
Yep.
horses, and we have to let the horses be loose
Mm-hmm.
to beat the Seattle Seahawks this week, man. We have to let the horses loose.
Gotta let them be big papas.
Yes, sir. Big Papas.
We gotta, so that I agree. I think this week is going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what happens on Monday night. Um, but yeah, guys, that was it. This was a short one this week. Um, we thank you for watching again. Thank you for all the followers, the subscribers, all that. We appreciate it so much. My name is Slim,
Appreciate y'all. This is Sammy, and we out.
and that's
See you next week.
is it gonna work? There it
Forward
goes.
down the field, a charging team that will not yield, and win the blue and silver wave. Stand and cheer the brave, rah, rah, rah! Go hard, win the game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gang, Alliance victorious.
Go Lions! All right, guys.
I'll let y'all see you next week, man. Let's get this dub. Lions Nation, let's go.